I always enjoy my shows with Lill from CMHA. It's Lill Petrella, Team Lead, Mental Health Promotions Education, Canadian Mental Health, Brant, Haldeman, Norfolk. Great to see you. This month we're going to talk farming, right?
Yes, we are. Nice to see you too.
You know what? In Haldeman, Norfolk, farmers are just basically the salt of the earth here. We have so many great farmers, so much great produce, so many great products that put out here. And I don't think we talk about them enough. I think they struggle just like the rest of us with, financial situations, health issues. And let's talk a little bit about the mental health. You guys got some really cool programs, and I want to get into that today and talk about that. Let's talk about I read this one, the In the Know workshop. Can you explain that to me?
Sure. This is such an important topic. I mean, what would we do without our farmers, really, but they're struggling in silence. We know that it's tough to run a farm with everything that's involved, and they're struggling. Some are struggling in silence. So the In the Know program is a 4-hour workshop free of charge. And we do know that farmers have very busy schedules with limited time. So we're very flexible on how it can be offered. It's basically to accommodate their schedules. So basically we teach members of the agricultural community in general what to look for signs of mental health problems, how to have that conversation, how to say that it's okay to not be okay, and really how to get through that stigma and how to identify that, who may be having problems and if you may be having problems, because, they are the salt of the earth. And there is that kind of mentality that they need to suck it up. And, this is what they signed up for. But we know that mental health is a big, big problem because there's just so much to take on in that farming community. So much.
And farming has changed so much over the years.
Yes.
Like it can be a family tradition for generations, but at the same time, too, things get more complicated with life, right, as we go. But I mean, from a farming aspect, it's good that they have these outlets as well where they can talk, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So give us an example. Like, would it be a group of farmers? Do you guys sort of initiate that, or do they come to you and initiate that?
Yeah, so, we have had the opportunity to offer one for the community in general, but we seem to get the best response by certain farms, or a group of farmers that call us and say, hey, we heard about this. Could you come and put this on for us? And we're very happy to do that. Actually, the response has been great. So I think they're very happy that somebody is, or an organization is recognizing what they're going through, and there's actually some resources and support for them.
I don't know. Is it a typical conversation? We see folks in everyday jobs that have everyday problems, but a farming community must have such a variety. Like, you guys must be experiencing this conversation in a whole different light from what the programs initially set out to do.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there are issues, there are mental health problems, but everybody is just kind of plugging away because, they're sweeping it under the rug, and the farm is important, and you have things to harvest and things to sell. And, all the while you're doing all this and you may be suffering in silence. And, some of the conversations that we have within these workshops are extremely interesting. We talk about addiction issues. We talk about suicide. And all these factors, just mental health problems in general that, like here in other cities, they have the resources. People know to go here and go there. And sometimes in some of these rural communities, the resources are far away or there are none. So it's just really important to let the agricultural communities know that there is support out there for them. And there is no shame in seeking support.
And some of the local farmers that I know, one of the things I find is there's a huge pride factor. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yes. And just who they are and who their family is and what they do. And you want to keep that for them, don't you? You want to protect that a bit and help them get through maybe some trying times.
Of course, absolutely. That's an excellent point. As I mentioned at the beginning, like, what will we do without our farmers? They have every right to be proud in their work and their farm and everything. But there is no shame or weakness in seeking assistance for mental health problems, or even coming forth and saying, hey, I'm struggling. It is perfectly okay. And we really want to break through that barrier that, they feel that farmers maybe, cannot talk about mental health issues. It's a sign of weakness in their eyes, but it certainly isn't. It certainly isn't.
So let's go a little bit further. The Farmer Wellness Initiative. Can you talk a bit about that too?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Farmers Wellness Initiative is an awesome initiative. So basically what it is, it's counseling sessions with mental health professionals. And it's also a 24/7 line that farmers can call. It's confidential. And I have the number here. I'm sorry, I have to read this because I don't have it memorized. But I really want farmers to know that there is help out there for them. So it is accessible 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So it's available when you have time to call. And the number is 1-866-267-6255. And you can speak to a farmer, and you can, it's an intake process to arrange counseling sessions with a mental health professional. So, this service is available to everyone. So, in the farming community. So please take advantage of it. Nobody is out to make money on this. It's a free service. The workshop is free. You don't have to pay for this phone call that you make, because we all know that, some farmers are struggling. A lot of farmers are struggling. Yeah.
When you said that when they call, they'll talk to a farmer, you meant they'll talk to a counselor?
Talk to a counselor. Sorry about that.
But that's okay. They probably would like to talk to each other. That number again was 1-866-267-6255.
Yes. And
that's great. Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know you guys had that. That's an awesome program.
And further to that, it is individuals that are trained in agricultural communities to know what the needs are and all that. So you're not talking to somebody in an ivory tower that doesn't know what you're going through day to day. And that's really important, right? Because there's been some comments made when farmers do access local services, that they don't understand what they're going through and the challenges they're faced with. That's what makes this Farmers Wellness Initiative in the know, and the Farmers Mental Health Program in general. We do have an understanding of the issues, so we can help that way.
I didn't realize that. That's you got to have somebody in the field, right, that understands what they're working with and what they're going through. So I didn't know that. That's amazing. That's an amazing program. How long has that program been going? Do you know, Lill? Has it been a few years?
We've been involved for a few years now. Yeah.
And do you remember why it was brought about? Was there a lot of farmers at that time saying we need this, or was there just you felt there was a need?
So this is a CMHA Ontario initiative. And yes, a lot of farmers were coming forth with mental health problems that weren't being addressed appropriately. And people were not understanding the day-to-day operations and issues that they were dealing with. So a study was put out by the Ontario Federation of Agriculture. So there were a lot of consultants in the field, right, that consulted with the mental health professionals. So there was a collaboration of the mental health expertise and the farming community expertise. And together they formulated this much needed program that has really taken off. Yeah.
Wow. And again, that's what we talked about earlier. These are the type of programs I think that really solidify a base in our community and can help it thrive. Because if you don't do this, right, I mean, it narrows the gap, and we need to widen it so that folks can see that there's the opportunity to talk about issues that may be going on. Mm-hmm. And do you find it's the farmers? Now, I guess my follow-up question is it just farmers or the families? Can the farmer's wife, can the farmer's kids?
Everybody.
Okay.
It is open to the families. It is open to anyone related to the agricultural community in general. So it could be veterinarians, anybody that is associated with the agricultural community.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's because, I mean, obviously there's so much that a family puts into a farm. Mm-hmm. So you might have those different ideas within that family that maybe need to be addressed. Wow.
Yes.
Cool program. So
Yes.
is this on your website? Where can people find it?
Yes, so it is on, if you go to the CMHA Ontario website, if I tell you where it is on our website, you got to go to tab. So it's just easier to go right to the CMHA Ontario website and go on the tab that says provincial programs, and the drop-down menu will come and you'll see farmers' mental health. And when you click on that, the 3 programs that are in the Farmers Mental Health Program will come up and give you a lot of detail and contact information on that. So, Brantford, Brant, Haldimand, Norfolk does have a very large agricultural community. So that's why we took on this initiative to be able to help out in any way we could within that community.
And I'll put the number up at the end of our video too, but 1-866-267-6255. They can call that number directly and start the initiative on getting signed up or getting involved with one of these programs, correct?
Yes, for sure.
Got to thank you for doing this. It's spring. Summer's coming. Farmers are hard at work in the fields, but this is a good time to talk about this and to share it. I want to thank you for bringing this subject to my attention today. And Lill, take care and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Talk soon.